In this video, I'm going to go over the lower back pain muscles and how to release them for instant pain relief. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over easy exercises that are going to help lengthen and, more importantly, strengthen the main muscles associated with lower back pain. That way we can get both quick and long-lasting relief. A note about these exercises, each one is going to target a different muscle group, so go through them all, use what gives you the most relief. With that being said, let's get started. With this exercise, we're going to focus on a muscle that causes a lot of lower back pain off to one side. It's known as the Quadratus Lumborum or the QL muscle, and it works with the glutes to stabilize the pelvis and the lower back. And when this muscle becomes strained and inflamed, it causes pains from the bottom of the ribs into the lower back towards the top of the hips and the pelvis. So here's a really easy exercise that you can do. It's a great one to do daily to help lengthen and strengthen this muscle for both quick and long-lasting relief. What we're going to do is go next to a staircase and step up with one foot right at the bottom step. Doesn't matter which side because we're going to do it on both. A couple notes about this exercise. Let's keep our body nice and straight. So we're not going to try to lean away from it. Instead, we want all movement coming through the hips, pelvis, and the back. And you can grab off to the side of a wall, railing, anything like that for support and balance as needed. So this is known as a hip hiker, very straightforward. What we're going to do with the leg and the foot that is off the edge of that step is we're going to hike that hip upward towards the ceiling as much as we can. The more that you go up, the more that you're going to feel muscles around the hip, the pelvis, and the lower back start to fire, but really focus on feeling it into the lower back. That will be that Quadratus Lumborum muscle. So what we're going to do is hold this one comfortably for 5 seconds and then slowly lower our leg downward towards the floor. So go in reverse. But with this one, don't let your foot touch the floor. Just let it hover slightly above it. You're going to feel a really good stretch now on the other side. Again, hold this one comfortably for about 5 seconds, and then you're going to repeat the hip hiker, going up as far as you can, and then coming back down for about 5 times in both directions. But if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, you can always throw in as many repetitions as you like. And I would recommend doing this on both sides just to keep everything in balance. So here's a really easy stretch that you can do for the Quadratus Lumborum, and it's great to do throughout the day anytime that you feel pain or tightness building off to one side. It's known as the ballerina. We can do this one standing. So whatever side that you're having the most amount of pain, let's say it's your right side, you're going to take that side's leg and put it over the other one just like this, and our toes are going to be pointed straight ahead. The non-painful side, you're going to take that side's hand and stabilize your hip. The other hand and arm are going to go overhead just like this. Now you know why we call it the ballerina. So pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do is stabilize this hip and then lean away from the side of pain. So I'm moving through my waist, through my lower back, and tilting my upper body towards the other side. Focus on feeling a deep stretch form from the bottom of the ribs into the lower back towards the top of the hips. That will target the Quadratus Lumborum. This one usually feels really, really good. I like to hold this one comfortably for about 20 to 30 seconds and just do nice, slow, controlled breathing also. Let out as much tension as you can. From there, you're going to relax and then repeat this a couple more times. And with each repetition, try to stretch into it just a little bit more. If you would like to take this one to the next level and get a deeper stretch, as you do this, take the hand on the non-painful side and gently press your hips towards the painful side. So I'm just gently pressing my hips towards my right and leaning towards my left. Slowly build into this one because it's going to become a very deep, intense stretch very quickly. At that point, hold that for 20 to 30 seconds, release it, and then repeat it a couple more times. And I do recommend doing this on both sides just to keep everything in balance. With this exercise, we're going to focus on a muscle group that I think are more associated with lower back pain than any other muscle. This would be the glutes. The glutes are a main stabilizer of the hips, pelvis, and the lower back. And when they become strained and inflamed, they tend to cause pains below the belt line throughout the pelvis towards the hips. They are a literal pain in the butt. So if you have a lot of lower back pain and hip pain going on, give this exercise a try. To get into position, we're going to lie flat on our back. You can do this one in bed or on a floor. Your legs are going to be roughly hip width apart, knees bent, feet flat. Let's start off by bracing our core muscles. It's kind of like if somebody was to try to poke you in your stomach, how you tense up. Mimic that and hold it during this exercise. We also want to squeeze the glutes to engage them. This will really help stabilize and protect the lower back during this exercise. Your hands can go on your hips or off to your side for support, but the movement very straightforward. What we're going to do is just slowly raise our hips upward towards the ceiling until our body is in a nice straight line from our knees to our hips to our shoulders. I know a lot of people won't be able to get into this position due to pain or weakness. Like you can only go up just a little bit. Do the best you can. Hopefully over time you will gain strength and flexibility to get in this position. But in this position, you should feel a ton of muscles start to fire. The core, lower back, glutes, and the legs, everything that helps support the spine in the lower back. We're going to hold this one comfortably for 5 seconds. You're going to relax, and then we're going to repeat this 5 to 10 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, you can always throw in another set or two. To take the bridge, this exercise, to the next level, what you can do is just raise one leg up and put all of your body weight off to one side. But as you do this, make sure that your hips are level so you're not tilting down like this. But give that a try, and whatever you do on one side, always make sure to do on the other to keep everything in balance. So another variation of the bridge that's going to target the glutes just a little bit differently is called the clamshell. This one is really good if you feel like you have a lot of weakness or pain in the hips. So for this one, we're going to take our feet and press them together, and then take our knees and wing them down towards the floor as much as we can. You should feel an initial stretch on the inner part of your thigh going towards the groin, but more importantly on the outside of the hips. Really focus on feeling it on the outside of the hips. Once you feel that, we're going to do the same movements. Let's brace the core, squeeze our glutes, put our hands right on our hips, and then lift our hips upward towards the ceiling. But again, this time around, you should really feel it on the outside of your hips. Hold that for 5 seconds, repeat 5 to 10 times, throw in another set or two if you are able. So since we're already in this position, let's throw in another exercise that's going to focus on another big stabilizer of the hips and the lower back. These would be the hip flexors, notably the iliopsoas or the psoas muscle right here on the top of the thigh. So what I like to do with this one is just start with one leg roughly at 90 degrees, and my hip and my knee are going to be in a straight line. Just take your hands, overlap them like this, put them right on the top of your knee. The movement from here is very straightforward. We're going to try to drive our knee towards our shoulder, but we're going to resist against it with our hand. So as you press into your hands, and make sure that your hands win on this one, you're going to feel a lot of muscles right here on the top of your thighs start to engage. Once you feel a really good activation of those muscles, but it's not causing any pain or discomfort, if that's the case, back off slightly. You're then going to hold this for 5 seconds, and then you're going to relax, and then you're going to repeat this on the other side. But do this nice and slowly for about 5 to 10 repetitions on both sides. But if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, you can always throw in another set or two. With this exercise, we're going to focus on one of the most important muscle groups, but probably the most overlooked too when it comes to lower back pain. This would be the Erector Spinae group. The Erector Spinae pretty much run the whole length of your back right off to the side of your spine, and their main function is to put the back into extension, a backwards movement. And when these muscles become strained and inflamed, they pretty much cause pains throughout the whole back. But a hallmark sign is when you bend forward and then come back upright, you get a lot of pain, especially getting up and out of a chair. So if that's the case, give this exercise a try. It's known as the Superman, and I'm going to show you how to progress into it, starting off easy and then working your way towards the more challenging full Superman. You can do this one in bed. I think it's a little bit easier to do it in bed, but you can also do this one on a floor. So what I'm going to do to start off with the easiest version, is to straighten my arms, have them off to my side, have my palms facing upward towards the ceiling. What you want to do is raise your head, shoulders, and chest upward like this as much as you can. You should feel a really good activation of the muscles in the upper back going down into the core. This is a really good core strengthening exercise. You're going to hold this comfortably for about 5 seconds. You're going to relax, and then you're going to repeat this 5 to 10 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. If that becomes a little bit too easy, what you can do is raise up like this with your upper body, but then also straighten your legs and then lift your feet upward towards the ceiling. This time around, you're going to feel it a lot more in the hips, pelvis, and the lower back. Again, hold that one comfortably for about 5 seconds. If that one feels like it's a little bit too easy, to make it more challenging, take your hands, put them on the back of your head like this, and as you do it, wing your elbows upward towards the ceiling. You're going to feel the muscles engage even more, so give that one a try. So the most challenging would be the full Superman. So for this movement, imagine Superman flying like this with his arms out in front of him straight ahead. So just point your hands away from you like this, straighten your legs, lift your hands and feet upward towards the ceiling. This time around, you're going to feel the muscles in the lower back fire all the way up to the upper back. It pretty much works the core, the back, the legs, the whole body. Give that a 5-second hold. You're going to relax and then repeat that 5 to 10 times. Go through all of those movements. Progress into it as much as you can. And if it does feel like you have a little bit more energy, always try to throw in another set or two. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.